Hey guys, how you guys doing? We got another update here. If it adds any more validity to the notion that the US may be contemplating a military strike on North Korea, we're seeing China bolster and boost the forces that they have along the border with North Korea. We're seeing even more troops and military hardware being deployed to that area. When asked about this, Chinese military officials have stated that it was a normal deployment, that their troops are currently at a normal readiness. There's no high alert. So the Chinese aren't really saying why these soldiers are being deployed here. And you got to ask yourself, if they are being deployed there, and if this does point to the notion that a military strike from the United States on North Korea is imminent, are these troops here to control refugee flow? Are they here to combat the U.S. if North Korea responds and a greater conflict ensues after these strikes? Now, this is all just theoretical. We don't know whether or not the U.S. is going to strike North Korea, but certain things can point to us thinking that that is definitely an option. You have all these different generals over the past couple weeks to past couple months stating that an attack on North Korea is not unimaginable, that it could happen. Trump himself said a major conflict with North Korea, could be in the works. It could happen. The last UN Security Council meeting we had, headed by U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley, she stated that, there's a very fine line, and North Korea is edging close to that line, and they are about to go over it, where diplomatic talks are out of the question, where peace talks are out of the question, and that the U.S. would use its awesome military power to deal with the situation. And that honestly just seems like an event that becomes more and more real every day. It seemed like a last-ditch effort last week. South Korea's President Moon tried to bring North Korea to the table. And what did North Korea do? They snubbed them. North Korea decided not to show to the talks. They said it was basically useless. North Korea has been open to talks under one condition: that the U.S. military and South Korean military stop their military drills. They stop the exercises. Both South Korea and the United States have stated they are not going to do that. Also, Kim Jong-un has stated that their nuclear capabilities, their nuclear arsenal, their missile program is off the table, even if they were going to go to talks. They would not be okay with giving that up. And many experts have come out and stated that, it's feasible that, not the best case scenario, but, a scenario nonetheless, that if we did have talks with North Korea, maybe we could get them to freeze their missile program and their nuclear ambitions. And even at that state, most of the experts were stating that prior to us, the knowledge of us, seeing them have an ICBM, which they tested July 4th. Now, what we're currently seeing is more U.S. intelligence is coming out, and we're seeing more missile movement around one of their missile test sites. And they believe, normally after they see movement like this, within the next 6 days to a week, they see a missile test. July 27th is a North Korean holiday. It's to celebrate the armistice they had from the Korean War, and we all know how North Korea loves to celebrate these holidays by acts of provocation. So we're pointing towards, another missile test is in the works. And honestly, with the frequent amount of missile tests that we've seen, that's not unimaginable. I do believe around the 27th of July, just in a couple of days, we may see another missile test from North Korea. You got to ask yourself, at what point do they cross a red line? We were thinking a nuclear test. We haven't seen one. But Pyongyang has stated that they have more gifts for the bastards, which they're talking about the United States of America. So we will expect more missile tests in the future, especially, the one that supposedly will most likely happen at the end of this week on the 27th. It actually, I mean, it's a couple days away, guys. And we've seen U.S. intelligence pointing towards different missile tests that could happen. So we have to see where that red line is. How many more of these missile tests is the U.S. going to allow before we do something about it? I don't advocate a strike on North Korea because I believe that it will lead to a broader conflict, which, you know, the world doesn't need. But we've seen the mainstream media pushing this war with North Korea, and they've been doing it to try to get the population ready for war, I believe. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, guys. As always, when more information comes out, we'll discuss it. I'll make a video. We're here to inform, not to tell you what you have to think. We are not the mainstream media. This is a big situation going on. There's so much going on around the world, but I believe this probably affects the United States more than any other right now. Make sure to check back, guys, because we're always trying to keep you guys in the know, keep tabs on what's going on. Stuff the mainstream media just isn't going to cover, guys. All right, peace.